If you want to be a senior developer, then this video is for you. Let me guess, you love to build stuff and you don't want to be seen as incompetent. You want to feel smart and accomplished, and you want to feel appreciated and respected by your coworkers and the community. Without the right mindset, you won't get there. You need a mindset of a great developer. It's all in the mind. Ain't that a worn-out sentence? But you know what? If you don't think it, you don't feel it. If you don't feel it, you don't do it. Whoops. And if you don't do it, you don't get the results you want. No way. It's a simple formula. Thoughts create feelings, feelings drive actions, and actions create results. Listen carefully to get aware of the thoughts that are preventing you from being a great senior developer. I'll never know enough. An engineer who accepts that they don't and can't know everything is right. Because he knows this, he is humble and open to knowledge. There will always be people with more experience than you, but you can work smarter and more efficiently. It's not about how many languages and frameworks you know. It's about knowing what to use and why to use a certain technology to solve a problem best. Yes, you are a problem solver. Senior developers spend time understanding the whys of a technology. Why does this problem exist? Why does this framework exist? What problems is this library solving? You need a good sense of all the tools and ideas. You need knowledge and a bit of intuition to pick the tools that will have the biggest positive gain on the project. When researching technology, focus on the pros and cons and not the latest features of the framework or tool. Senior developers keep an eye on the big picture. They follow trends and new technology. Why? Well, it's their passion. Having passion for the job is the only way to go. If you have passion, you'll want to learn, explore, and become better. So change the "I'll never know enough" to "I'm a problem solver. I can find the best tool for the job." The next thought is "I know better than the rest. It's my way or the highway. I don't need to cooperate with the team." These kinds of thoughts will drag you down. Some people may think owning decisions comes down to having strong, unmovable opinions. It's a bad sign, and it's hard to work with these kinds of people. Even if you prove to them that this particular library solves the problem entirely, they will never listen. Your team might gain a new project written in a language the developer doesn't like, so he'll push for a complete rewrite even if that is not the smartest solution. Watch out for these ego-driven developers, and don't become one. An excellent senior developer doesn't have to love all languages and frameworks equally. The best is if he doesn't have any particular emotions towards them. They're just a tool. You don't get attached to a hoe in the garden, right? You use the most effective tool. Sometimes that is a hoe. A real senior developer will pick the right one for the problem, their team, and their company, and realize that the rest is noise. You can know all the cool functional programming techniques and all the patterns and approaches in this world. Still, if you cannot work with your team, or you are not able to focus on delivering actual value to a customer, then you are not a senior developer. There are a few questions you can ask yourself. How do I work with team members? Do I contribute to a toxic culture? Or am I considerate, cooperative, and encouraging of other team members? Senior developers don't have giant egos. They know they are good and don't need to prove themselves to others. They can write clean, simplistic code rather than code which is unreadable to other team members, just to show off their skills. They are willing to help others, and they ask questions when they don't know something. So change the "I'm better than the rest, it's my way or the highway, I don't need to cooperate with the team" to "I bring value to all around me. I grow and you grow faster by us working as a team." Next one. Clients don't know what they want. Again, the ego can be your great enemy. If you think you are better than others, you will not listen. And if you don't listen, you cannot know how to bring the highest value possible. The most underestimated skill of a developer is the ability to listen. If the person you speak with feels that their message came across and they feel they were heard and understood, they will be more open to listen to your version of the story. Chris Voss, the ex-hostage negotiator, will tell you how to get your clients to do what you want. Well, by listening to clients first. So ask yourself, am I able to talk to a client or a user and clearly see their needs? When they suggest something to me, do I try to understand what is the problem they are facing? A senior developer can be left alone with a client and be a great listener. Only after knowing exactly what the problem is, they can offer advice. So change. Clients don't know what they want. 2. I'm a great listener. I can give the best value only after I understand what the real problem is. Next one. Marketing and sales are something I don't need to learn, ever. Senior developers can get themselves into senior roles because they can communicate and sell themselves to people making those decisions. How can other people see that you are great if you are not able to show them? It's not about the code. A problem solver needs to have excellent communication skills. Also, if nobody knows about you, because you sit all day in a cubicle, you won't be asked to work on cool projects. So get out there, show yourself, and learn how to negotiate a good salary. I know, it feels weird thinking you need to learn how to negotiate. Negotiation is not, as some assume, putting the other one in the corner. Negotiation is about getting the best value for each party. Chris Voss is a go-to guy if you want to learn the basics of negotiation. Read his book. Before you start thinking about negotiation, be sure you are confident enough to take on those roles and perform under pressure. To truly be a senior, you need to make the hard calls and make them right. When you choose a solution, you also select the problems and issues that come with it. And your team will live with it. If you are willing to take the responsibility, then go for it. So change. Marketing and sales are something I don't need to learn, ever. 2. I get the best projects for the best pay by promoting myself and negotiating my worth. And the next one. I'm a lone wolf. I don't need anybody. You might get caught up thinking you don't need anybody. Senior developers contribute to the developer community. You can speak at meetups, contribute to open source, or write tutorials. They are the go-to person to solve a problem. Instead of being in a closed-off box of just your working space, go out and communicate with people in other communities. The way to create real life-changing opportunities for yourself is first to give value to others. By giving to others, you will let great projects find you. Give and you will be given. The most successful people in any walk of life are successful because they've created massive value for others. So change. I'm a lone wolf. I don't need anybody. 2. I share openly with the community. I'm a giver. So let's summarize. The thoughts that are helping me be a senior developer are: I'm a problem solver. I can find the best tool for the job. I bring value to all around me. I grow and you grow faster by us working as a team. I'm a great listener. I can give the best value only after I understand what the real problem is. I get the best projects for the best pay by promoting myself and negotiating my worth. I share openly with the community. I'm a giver. Have a great day. Bye-bye.